going on, everybody? My name is Michael Weir, and this is another laid-back video. See, I'm in a chair. I'm not standing. I'm not giving you my thoughts on a movie, although I will be giving you thoughts on many movies. It's interesting how that works out. I'm also not wearing my watch. It's not normally like me, but it's over there, and I don't feel like walking over and putting it on and restarting this. So we're just going to go for it. But before we do, Pure Leaf Tea. They don't sponsor me, but they could. Okay, let's jump into some Blu-rays that I've picked up in the last several months. It's been at least 6 months since I've done a Blu-ray collection update, and I've got 50 or so Blu-rays to add to my collection that I'd like to share with you guys. I know you guys really like these videos. These videos get the most hits. People just like seeing collections. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to my collections, except the things that I want in my collection. It's just a thing. So let's start with the top. We'll start with Beetlejuice. That's right. Can't say the name 3 times, because if you do, then Beetlejuice will come out, and then I almost slipped up. Beetlejuice. Shit. Next up, guys. I don't know why I do what I do. Next up, we have the TMNT trilogy, the only Turtles movies that matter. That's right. The original 3 on Blu-ray, and it was cool finding these on Blu-ray, because I mean, you know, they're so old. I've had these in my life. I've had these on VHS. I've had these on DVD, and now I have them on Blu-ray, and one day I'll probably have them on 4K. But here they are, the Turtles movies. They're near and dear to my heart. Next up we have Spider-Man 1. I'm not a huge fan of Tobey Maguire's outing as Spider-Man, but of the Spider-Man movies that he was in, Spider-Man 1 is his best, probably because of Willem Dafoe. Also, I really like this cover with the half faces. It's kind of cool, even though that was trash and we all know it was. All right, what else we got? Okay, next up we have Harry Potter, the 8-film collection. Now, if you've seen my videos, then if you've watched my DVD collection, you know that I had a lot of movies on DVD that I was like, one day I'll upgrade. Well, the day came, and I have upgraded my Harry Potter DVD collection to one set of Blu-ray Harry Potter collection, and then after I bought this, I realized there was a 4K set. But it's fine. I don't need it on 4K. Blu-ray is just fine. I'm excited. I love this cover. I love the art. I don't know. The lanterns, it's just pretty. I like that. The case itself, it's in good condition. It's fine. I appreciate when they separate everything and they don't stack the movies up. Like, hey, you're an animal. Here's stacked movies. Because I feel like that's what they're saying to us when they do that. You take that to the bank. Next up, we have the movie The Breakfast Club. I almost dropped it, but The Breakfast Club. And this is the Steelbook. It's kind of cool. I love you can't feel it because you're watching the video, but I can, and it's textured. And I really like that. It looks like a locker. It's pretty neat. Inside, it's got little pictures of everybody. Yeah, Breakfast Club. I really like the locker look to this. It's neat. It's different. Next up, we have the movie Insidious. It's not the house that's haunted. Of the horror movies in the last 10 to 15 years, Insidious is one of the better ones. It still gets me. There's still moments that make me jump, and I appreciate that. So yeah, Insidious. Had to have it in my collection of horror movies. Next up, we have another horror movie, Land of the Dead. This is another zombie movie. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen this, Land of the Dead. Never seen it. However, it does have, what's his name? I'll get it here in a second. He was in John Wick. His name is John Leguizamo. There it is. He's right here. Yeah, there's this guy. So I was like, okay, it's a zombie movie and John Leguizamo's in it. I'm probably butchering his last name, but that's what I do. Next up, we have a comedy, and that is My Best Friend's Girl, starring Dane Cook. I love this movie. I think it's his best movie. Big fan of Mr. Brooks. What's his other movie he did? Anyway, My Best Friend's Girl. I think it's my favorite Dane Cook movie. He's a guy that dates girls who have just broken up with other guys, and he gives them a very bad date so that they go back to the previous guy. And they're like, maybe the grass isn't greener on the other side. I should go back to what I left. It's a little toxic, but the movie makes me laugh. Next up, we have the movie Bad Boys for Life. I think they missed an opportunity with this movie. They should have called it Bad Boys 3. And then when they did Bad Boys 4, they could have called that Bad Boys the number 4 Life. But now we're getting like Fast and Furious. I actually really enjoyed this movie, and my brother Neville hooked it up for Christmas time and actually bought this for me, which I appreciate. Anytime someone gets me a Blu-ray, they know me. They're like, hey, I know you like Blu-rays. Here's some Blu-rays. So anytime someone gets me a Blu-ray, I know that they know me to a certain extent. and I appreciate that. So yeah, Bad Boys for Life. It's a fun movie. Next up, we have the movie Insidious, Chapter 2. It will take what you love most. The most horrifying movie of the year. I wouldn't go that far, but it's in the vein of the Insidious movies, and it was part 2 that was... part 1 and part 2, they're a full story. You really have to watch them back to back. If you don't watch Insidious part 1 and part 2 back to back, what are you doing? But you have to watch them back to back, and then after that, honestly, you could stop watching. Part 3, part 4, I don't have them. I have no desire to have them. They're just meh movies. All right, next up we have a romantic comedy. I don't know if it's a romantic comedy. I'm just calling it that. It's Away We Go. I've actually not watched it yet, but it started John Krasinski, so I picked it up because my wife loves John Krasinski, and eventually one day we will sit down and watch it together. But yeah, Away We Go, starring John Krasinski. Next up we have another one I picked up because of my wife. This might be my wife's favorite movie. It might be, and it is The Dallas Buyers Club. Yeah, it's Matthew McConaughey, Jared Leto, fantastic performances, handing out Oscars all around because they all deserve them. This movie is a really good movie, but yeah, it's not top of my list, but I think it is my wife's favorite. I don't speak for her, but I'm pretty sure it is. Next up, we have the movie Arrival. Now, this is one I've talked about that I had on DVD before. Finally have it on Blu-ray, so I won't go into too much detail, but I really like this movie. It makes you think. It's one of those movies where you should eat a piece of fruit while watching it. I forget who said that. I stole it from someone. But someone was like, yeah, it's one of those movies you should eat a piece of fruit. It's not a snacks movie. And I agree with that statement. So I'm going to steal it. Okay, moving on, we have the movie Fracture. Fracture is another movie I owned and I upgraded to Blu-ray. It is a fantastic, not really whodunit movie, but how will we catch you movie. The guy, Anthony Hopkins, murders his wife with such a clear vision of how he's going to get out of it that he almost gets away with it. But that's all I'll say. Check out Fracture if you haven't checked it out. Next up, we have another horror movie, and it's Psycho. But the one starring Vince Vaughn, because that's the good one. I've said what I've said, and I don't feel bad. The next one up, guys, is a comedy, and that's right, it is Mean Girls, one of my favorite comedies. And of course, there's a story that goes along with this. Because of course there is. This is Mean Girls, and I currently own a copy with a blue case. Now, there is a case out there that is also pink, and that is the one that I want, but also the one I can't seem to get my hands on. Now, I've seen this case on sale at a store, and I didn't want to pay $20 for it, and now I'll never see it again, because apparently it now doesn't exist. It's irritating. I have looked for this thing high and low. I have ordered from 2 different sellers who were both advertising the all pink case, and both times, both sellers sent me the blue case. So all the extra copies that I was sent, I gave away to friends. Yeah, gave one to Rob, gave one to Sam. I feel like I gave one to someone else, and now I've got 1 copy. Now, it's a great movie. As far as the movie's concerned, it's just a great movie. It's hilarious. But yeah, my heart still desires the pink case, so maybe one day on one of these Blu-ray update videos, I will show you guys my pink case of Mean Girls. But I dream. Okay, moving on, guys. We have a great movie called Inglourious Basterds. Now, this is a movie, again, I upgraded to Blu-ray. I'm very happy that I did. You know, it's Brad Pitt. It's Christoph Waltz. It's a fun movie about hunting and killing Nazis. And what's not to love about that? Next up, guys, we have a horror movie, and it is The Conjuring. The Conjuring is, in my opinion, the best horror movie ever made, bar none. Best horror movie. I love this movie. It scares me every single time I watch it. It's got a creepiness to it, but also they're able to add some moments of levity when they put comedy within the movie, and I appreciate that because this movie just, it leaves you feeling uneasy, but not in a, oh, I want to go throw up way. It's like, God, that's terrifying. So yeah, I think this is great. I think the jump scares are perfect. And yeah, I think The Conjuring is probably the best horror movie ever made. That being said, Scream is still my favorite, but this is the best. It's a weird thing I do. Okay, guys, next up we have the movie Office Space. Now, I'm excited to talk to you about Office Space because it is a hilarious comedy. It is a comedy about a stapler. At its heart, it's about a stapler and the ramifications of taking said stapler.
That nobody knows about this but us, all right? No family members, no girlfriends, nobody.
Of course. Agreed.
Don't worry, man. I won't tell anyone either.
What the fuck is that?
No, don't worry about him. He's cool.
I love Office Space. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing with your life? Check it out. This is Milton. He talks about his stapler. I'm not going to do my Milton impression. All right, I'm going to do a Milton. It's my stapler, and I was told that if I listened to my radio at a reasonable volume that I could have it, and I'm not going to have my stapler taken, and that's the last straw. Okay, that's my best Milton. It's not great. We're going to move on. Moving on to a horror movie called The Right. I honestly don't know if this is any good. I don't think I've actually seen this movie. My wife has seen it, and she said it scared her, but a lot of stuff scares her. So I don't know if it's any good, but I am going to check it out. I'm looking forward to looking at it, looking at it? No, I'm looking forward to watching it. I really am. Moving on, we have another horror movie that's kind of a horror movie. It's just, I don't know, it's just a fun time. I did a review on it, and I don't think I was super nice to it, but I enjoy it now. And that's the thing about reviews. When you watch something and have to give a review within a couple days so that it's relevant and people watch it, your opinions change over time. And then people are like, I thought you hated that movie. And I'm like, I mean, maybe at the time, but I don't know, it grew on me. And that is Ready or Not. Yeah, it's a fun movie about a woman who marries into a family and then finds out that she has to play a hide and seek game where they can kill her. I think that was one of my gripes in the movie. It should have been called Hide and Seek. But that was a De Niro movie, and they didn't want people to be confused. Okay, so Ready or Not. Check it out. It's fun. Next up we have Twilight, the complete saga, but in a steelbook case. And it's a nice steelbook case. It really is. I always have to do that steelbooks. I don't know why. But yeah, they do the one thing I don't like, and that is they stack all the movies. Why? You're already making me buy something for a lot of money. Can't you just make me pay $5 more so you could make a case that held the movies correctly? Like, I shouldn't have to pull movies off the top of each other. I really don't like that. It's a pet peeve I have, and it's one I'm not happy about because you can never know whether or not it's going to have individual movies by themselves or if they're going to be stacked until you buy it. So that's why I tend to stay away from collections. I say that, but I've got several collections. So next up we have a movie that's still in the wrapper, and it was just $1 over what I'm normally willing to pay. That's right, it's at $6.99, and that is The Conjuring 2. And I picked it up on Blu-ray because, honestly, I haven't been able to find this. It's weird. So I was in Meijer the other day, and they had it for $6.99, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm willing. So I picked it up, I watched it. It's not like The Conjuring. It's not the best horror movie ever made. It's not, but it's fun, and it's in the same vein. So if I'm in the mood to watch The Conjuring, I'll probably be in the mood to watch The Conjuring 2, and then Annabelle, and then Annabelle Creation, and then Annabelle Comes Home. And then eventually, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, whenever that comes out later this year, which I'm really looking forward to. Moving on, we have Gatsby. I actually just rewatched this recently with my wife, and I really liked it even more the second time around. And the first time I watched it, I liked it, but second time I watched it, I really liked it a lot. It's a good story. They do a good job telling it, and what I like about the movie, there's two things. I like the colors. Generally, when there's movie from period pieces, they try to tone down the colors. This, everything's bright, everything's vibrant. The colors in this movie are fantastic, and I think it transfers great on Blu-ray. The other thing I'll say about the movie The Great Gatsby is that Jay-Z was a producer of this movie, so he puts all of his and Beyonce's music into it, and somehow it works. I mean, when you're doing a period piece movie, putting in today music and sounds doesn't seem like it would work, but for whatever reason, I really enjoy it, and it works for me. All right, next up, guys, we have Friday the 13th, the 8-movie collection. It's got Friday the 13th Uncut. It's got Friday the 13th Part 2. It's got Friday the 13th Part 3 3D. It's got Friday the 13th The Final Chapter. Then it's got Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Then it's got Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Then it's got Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. I had to look at that one again because I don't remember. And then Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. My friend at work gave me this, Carl. He's awesome. First of all, loving the fact that the cases, I'm going to stop harping on the cases, but I'm just telling you guys, I love the fact that all of these are in the correct order. Not the correct order. They're in the correct, pattern. You see what I mean? It's just better. I don't know. I prefer that. I don't have stacked movies, so I don't want them stacked within a case. But I really appreciate Carl for giving me this. He didn't have to do that, but I believe he upgraded his collection, and he had the extra Blu-ray, and so he was like, hey, it's for you. And I was like, you're just an awesome person. So Friday the 13th, it's movies that I'll watch once every couple of years around Halloween time. Just got a projector set up for my backyard, so I'm looking forward to fall this year because I'd like to watch older movies in my backyard on a projector in the fall. Horror movies. I'd like to watch horror movies on my projector in the fall in my backyard. I feel like that'd be a fun time. I'm looking forward to fall. These are the things I look forward to. I don't know what to tell you. Next up, guys, we have another one from Carl himself, actually. Same guy. He gave me Army of Darkness. Now, I've actually only seen part of Army of Darkness before, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it on Blu-ray. It's another one. He upgraded his collection. I love the Evil Dead movies, and Carl's not going to like this, and I know he's going to watch this. Carl, I'm sorry, but the remake of Evil Dead is my favorite. It just is. But yeah, I enjoy Army of Darkness, and I'm looking forward to the Screwhead edition. So yeah, thanks again. Moving on, guys, we have the movie American Sniper. Yeah, it's the story of Chris Kyle. It's played by Bradley Cooper, and the movie it's a movie that I think I'll revisit in a couple of years. It's a movie I watched a couple of years ago, and it's one I'll revisit every couple of years because it's important to see, you know, the kind of struggles that people who've given their lives to a cause. The cause, of course, is freedom. The ability to even do this video. I don't want to get too deep, but yeah, it's important that, you know, we honor that in our society, in my personal opinion. Moving on, guys, we have Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Not a great movie, but I'm a collector. I want the whole DCEU. So, yeah, Birds of Prey. I've got a review on it if you want to go check it out. Yikes. Okay, next up, guys, we have a movie I was really looking forward to, and I wasn't so much let down as I was just fascinated that it got done, and that is Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's Kevin Smith doing what he does. I like the Ben Affleck parts the most. That's what I'm going to say. Next up, we have another horror movie, and that is a horror movie that came out last year and actually was one of my favorites last year, and that is The Invisible Man. I still think they should have cast John Cena and just had him on screen. I still think that would have been a good idea. Whatever. Okay, moving on, guys. We have a 4K movie edition. I've recently gotten a 4K Blu-ray player, and so I'm able to find and purchase Blu-rays as I see them, and I want them, and I saw this, and I paid full price for this, and I'm not ashamed, and it is the 1998 version of Godzilla. Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't actually checked this out on 4K yet. I'm hoping the transfer is just brilliant. But I'm looking forward to watching this movie. I love this movie for all its flaws, for all its graphic issues, for all its storyline issues. I love this movie. It's one of the first monster movies I saw that wasn't from the 1960s. So just exciting to watch. Next up, guys, we have the movie, or the movies, something I'm very excited to have now. The transfer is just perfect. I love it. It is quite possibly the cleanest transfer I've ever seen onto 4K, and that is Lord of the Rings trilogy. I love this series in general. I do. And no, if you're watching this and you know I had the previous extended versions on DVD, I've already given that away. I've already given it away. But yeah, I absolutely love the 4K edition. I'm very happy that I paid full price for this, and full price was way more than I would ever pay for movies, but it's something that I don't think they'll put out a clearer or better version of this, so I think this is the quintessential version to have, and so I'm glad I have it. Moving on, let's go to another collection. There I am talking about, I don't really like collections, and then I collect them. I don't know. It's just, if I find a deal, I want the deal. And I found a deal on this because it was only like $3, and that is Expendables 1, 2, and 3. And you know what? I would pay $1 for each movie on Blu-ray. They get progressively worse, although 2 is a lot of fun. So I think it goes 2, 1, 3. Yeah. 3 is not very good at all. But I really like Chuck Norris showing up in part 2. Who doesn't? All right, next movie. This is a movie I've watched half of. It really intrigued me when I bought it. Found it for a deal at Walmart, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. I watched half of it. I enjoyed the half that I saw, and then I just never got back to it. So maybe I'll finish it someday soon. And if I like it that much, maybe I'll do a review on it, even though it's a couple years old. It's a movie starring Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn, and it's called Dragged Across Concrete. It's a movie about two cops who get called out for how they treat minority, and then they have to also keep working a different case. It's weird. I've gotten to the point in the movie where they've gotten suspended for their actions, and now they've got to take things to the streets. So yeah, I guess looking forward to it. Next up, guys, we have a comedy, and that is 22 Jump Street. I don't know why I said it like that, but 22 Jump Street, yeah. 21 Jump Street was hilarious. I've had 22 on DVD for a while. I've given you guys my thoughts on 22 Jump Street in the past, but I think the best thing about this is when they do the montage of 23, 24, and so on and so on and so on. Jump Street movies, Jump Street in space. That's a great montage at the end. I really like that. Moving on, guys, we have another comedy, and that is The Hangover. This is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I really enjoy this movie. It's a movie that I don't watch as much as some of the other comedies that I watch, but when I do, it gets me. I love that tiger song. There's nothing better than that tiger song. That's so great. Next up, guys, we have another superhero movie, and that is Aquaman. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm not a huge fan of this, and here's why. Right here on the back, you see that this is an explosion, and this is an explosion. And this is Mara directly before an explosion. And this is Aquaman's mother, played by what's her name, Nicole Kidman, right before an explosion. And this is Willem Dafoe. You guessed it, right before an explosion. Because they didn't know how to transition between scenes. So they're like, any serious moment we have is just going to automatically have an explosion follow it. And that is my biggest gripe. Well, it's my second biggest gripe. My biggest gripe is they got Pitbull to cover Africa for this movie. There was no reason for that. There's no reason for that. Okay, moving on, guys. Let's talk about a movie that I don't want to say shook me to my core, but it definitely stuck with me for 2 weeks and made me feel uneasy for the entire 2 weeks, and that is the movie Requiem for a Dream. Now, my wife loves this movie, and I think it is a good movie. I think Jared Leto's performance in this movie is fantastic. I think the whole cast, Marlon Wayans, sorry, I almost mispronounced his name. But yeah, what's her name? Jennifer Connelly, there it is. Jennifer Connelly, Ellen Burstyn, Jared Leto, and Marlon Wayans. I could have just looked at the case instead of wondering what their names were. But yeah, they all do a fantastic job in this movie, and the movie deals with drugs, but not just drugs. It deals with the fact that just about anything in your life can be a drug, but also drugs. That's my best description of the movie. I don't know. Next up, guys, is a movie I'm excited to talk to you guys about because I couldn't find this on Blu-ray for a long time, and that is Project X. I love this movie. I'm not a huge fan of shaky cam. I'm not a huge fan of someone carrying around the camera the whole time. This movie is the perfect movie for it. Maybe Paranormal Activity 1. But then this movie. This movie is a perfect movie for shaky cam. I love it. It's hilarious. There's so many good lines from it. Hey, wear something tight. Like, it's just, I enjoy it. Next up, guys, we have a movie that I didn't go see in theaters. It's recent. It's an anime to film movie, and that is Ghost in the Shell. I have no idea what this is about. I started it last night and was pretty bored right off the bat. So if you enjoyed this movie, tell me why in the comment section down below, and I'm going to go ahead and give it another try. Oh yeah, it's a DVD and the Blu-ray copy. I was like, why is there, I know it's in my Blu-ray player right now, but yeah, that's why, because there's a DVD in here too. But yeah, tell me what you thought of this movie, or tell me why you like this movie, if it's something that you liked, and if I should continue watching it, because as of right now, I'm just kind of bored with it. Moving on, guys, we have the movie Crawl. I bought this as a joke. I have not actually watched it yet. It's a movie that I do want to watch. It's about a gigantic alligator who takes advantage of a hurricane, starts eating people. I don't know, Barry Pepper's in it, so I'm already in because of that. But my wife, she's not a big fan of underwater movies or movies that have underwater monsters. It's just not really her thing. Kind of scares her a little. I told you earlier, she's kind of scared. But we don't have to be, because we're safe on this side of the TV. Or are we? But anyway, Crawl, it's one I'm looking forward to checking out. It's one I'll definitely check out in the next couple of weeks. I just haven't had the time yet. Moving on, guys, is a movie that the previews have always made me think, I want to check this movie out. But I've never checked it out. And then I found it the other day, and I was like, all right, I'm going to add it to my collection. I'm going to check it out. And that is American Ultra. Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart. I hate the fact that Best Buy thought it was great to put stickers that would never come off of their movies ever in the history of the film. So yeah, the case is clean, but the outside case, not a huge fan of the fact that Best Buy had to make bad decisions. But that's Best Buy, and that's what they do. Moving on, guys, we have the movie Social Network. The Social Network. Jesse Eisenberg again. 2 Jesse Eisenberg movies back to back. sus. But yeah, I bought it, and the case said it did not come with the DVD, only the Blu-ray. That's fine. That's why I bought it. I bought it for the Blu-ray. But yeah, The Social Network. It's about the making of Facebook, and according to the maker of Facebook, the entire thing's fabricated. Hardly any of that ever happened, especially the green martinis, which got me. I was like, really? It was such a thing they made for that character. But that's fine. Now I'm gonna take a second here to sip some pure leaf tea. That's good stuff. Okay. Moving on, guys, we have another comedy, and that is Ted and Ted 2. Yeah, it's a double, it's a 2-pack. And look, they separated the DVDs. I'm going to stop that. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed Ted. I don't think I've ever actually watched Ted 2. I've seen clips from it that my friends have sent me through TikTok, funny moments from it, but I love Ted. But yeah, I never saw Ted 2, and I don't really know why. So looking forward to checking that out eventually. Next one up, guys, is a historical piece, and that is Valkyrie, starring Tom Cruise. I really love this movie. The fact that it's based on true story, the fact that they came this close to stopping Hitler and his men, but couldn't. It's it's an incredible story, and I really enjoy this movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen Valkyrie, I recommend checking it out, especially if you're a World War II guy or girl. And you're like, you know what, I like that period. I like movies about it. Then you should check out Valkyrie. I definitely recommend it. Next up, guys, we have the movie Training Day. Now, Training Day, I love Training Day. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. King Kong ain't got shit on me. And that's the best line of the movie. But yeah, Training Day, great movie. About dirty cops. Love it. Coming down to it here, guys, the next one up is the movie The Town, starring Ben Affleck, Jeremy Renner. This movie is one of the best heist movies. Now, I've said one of the best or best on a lot of these movies, but it's true. I really feel that way, and I didn't have these movies before, so I could give that opinion. But now that we're here, this is one of the best heist movies. They do a few heists in the movie. They're all awesome. They're all flawless. I love them. This movie's got a lot of heart to it. I love John Hamm in this movie, too, as the detective trying to chase down Ben Affleck and his gang. It's just a great movie all the way around. Really enjoy The Town. All right, next up, guys, we have the movie Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise. I actually have not taken this out of the wrap yet. I have not seen this since I was like 12 or 13. It's been a long time. But I think there's a digital copy in here. Oh, I give the digital copy away. I didn't realize that. That's exciting. Well, I'm going to give that digital copy away eventually. Next up, guys, we have a movie that I looked for a long time, but it was always like $80 to $90 because reasons. Actually, what happened was the Blu-ray went out of stock. It's Apocalypto. I'm not gonna save it for It's Apocalypto. This is the movie Apocalypto. Mel Gibson directed. It's about warring Indian tribes before the Americans came to America and kind of, ruined the current warring. But yeah, this movie went out of print, and so people started charging $80 to $90 online for a copy of it. And then Walmart was like, hey, well, I don't know. Not Walmart, but I found it on Walmart's website. But eventually they re-released this on Blu-ray, and so it just devalued the rest of them. And I was really happy about that. So I picked up my $13.99 copy of Apocalypto, and I now own it forever. And I love the end of this movie. I'm not going to spoil it. Love the end of this movie. I love the end of that movie. Okay. Moving on, guys. 2 movies left to talk about. And the first one is the motion picture trilogy of The Hobbit. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I get the Blu-rays and the DVDs. Now, I didn't need this on 4K like I needed Lord of the Rings on 4K because I have a love-hate with these, whereas I love the opening of these movies, and as the movies progress, they just get worse. The Battle of the Five Armies, not great. So I didn't need that transferred on 4K, but I am upset because I bought this movie from Walmart, and yeah, it's cracked. You can't send that back. It's just irritating. I don't know. It's in like a special case with all these different holders for the Blu-rays, so I can't like go switch out the case. And I hate that. Why's it gotta be cracked? What's up with that? All right, guys, the final movie we're gonna talk about today. I've ended a review on this before, but I'm gonna do it again because this is my favorite movie of all time. I've owned this movie on VHS. I have owned this movie on DVD. I have owned this movie on Blu-ray, and now I own it on 4K. And this is Collateral. If you know anything about me, you know this is my favorite movie for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is the performances given by Tom Cruise as the villain, the performance given by Jamie Foxx as the taxi driver who's just trying to get through his day and he's kind of going nowhere in life. Jada Pinkett Smith is in this movie as well. She's fantastic in it. I love everything about Collateral. I love this movie. I'm so excited to own it on 4K. I'm so excited to pop this thing in and watch it. I may do it today. To be honest with you, I may do it today. I love this movie. Guys, those are the Blu-rays I've collected over the last 6 months, and it'll probably be another 4 to 6 months before I do another one of these, but I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button and the share button so your friends can see it. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel and you like all things movies, whether it's Blu-ray reviews, or just movie reviews in general, or if your thing is TV show reviews, because I've started doing a few of those as well. If you enjoy that stuff, guys, make sure you're subscribed. And if you've seen any of the movies I talked about today, or you have any of these in your collection, or you wouldn't put any of these in your collection, put all that in the comment section down below. Let's talk about it. Let's go back and forth, because I love talking to you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.